Okay, we are in Houston, Texas at the 2026 Republican Party of Texas Convention. I'm really excited for this next one. It's my good friend Don Huffines. He's the Republican nominee for Comptroller. And Don, you're no stranger to the Republican Party of Texas Convention. You've been to plenty of these. What feels different about this one? What's going on? What are some of the kind of the themes you're observing? And how do you feel going into 2026 November with this atmosphere?
Well, I appreciate that, Dustin. Appreciate the question. Appreciate everything you guys are doing for our liberty and freedom in Texas, of course. Well, I've been to, 15 of these. I've been going to these for 35 years as a delegate. This one seems really a little different. We don't seem to have the animosity that we used to have about Rule 44 and people, issues like that. And I think right now we're more united in a conservative agenda with our party platform than we've normally been. There's been some good years over the years, but this one specifically seems to me people are having fun more. This is a convention where people are relaxed a little bit more than they have.
I feel like that too. Yeah. What do you think that has to do with the fact that this primary cycle, I would argue more conservatives got elected on the statewide ballot than maybe ever before, Don? You certainly had a lot to do with that. Tell me, do you think that's because the electorate has changed, because delegates have been more involved or more impactful, or what's behind that? What do you think is contributing to this giant shift that we're seeing happen in Texas politics?
What you said, it has a lot to do with that. I really feel like that the electorate is changing. I mean, Trump has changed us 100%.
Sure.
Trump is the Republican Party. And all the previous wings of the party were the Bush Party, the Bush wing, and the John McCains and the Mitt Romneys. They're all gone.
Yeah.
They're dead. I mean, that part of the party is finally gone, and it takes time for it to weed itself out. So now it's not just MAGA Republicans, but it's Republicans that really believe in liberty and freedom, and they're more naturally conservative.
Yeah.
And we're winning a lot of races and at the state house side and at the Texas Senate, and now we won quite a few for statewide races. And so I just think their party's more united than it's ever been. And look, as conservatives, we have the answers, and we have the answers to our problems and solutions to the problems. We try to focus on the problem and not the symptom of the problem as conservatives. We don't market that near hard enough.
Yeah.
And but we're doing a good job, and I think this convention is going to set us on fire for the fall.
Yeah, I think that this convention, I feel like the focus has been on the issues that we need to tackle. I was on the Legislative Priorities Committee. We had plenty of testimony about issues that weren't even really on people's radar several years ago. What has changed, I think, is kind of a maturing of the conservative movement. I think we know what we want. We've been asking for certain things. We're getting better at being active and involved. Tell me about the effectiveness of the legislative priorities. Of course, you were a lawmaker in the legislature. That's been a big focus of this week, is the platform and the legislative priorities. So you, as somebody who's been in the building, what impact does that make on you and your work in that building, trying to change policy to affect people? Because that's really what this is all about, right?
I agree. Look, I've been a champion for our party platform for 40 years.
Yeah.
I was only in the Senate for two sessions, one term, and that was 8 years ago. But for me, the platform's everything.
Yeah.
I think the platform, it is who we are as Texas Republicans. It clearly defines who we are. And our legislative priorities are huge. It's huge for me. But it wasn't when I was in the legislature. When I was in the Texas Senate, no one cared. No one paid attention to them. And that
has changed.
Totally. That was 10 years ago.
Right.
Now people do care. That's the point I want to make.
Right.
Is that now the members really do care about it.
I just remember you making that argument.
Yeah.
Going around and saying, guys, look what the party wants. And maybe then it wasn't. I feel like now we may be at a place where, does this feel like marching orders almost? Like, you think people are sympathetic to the idea this is what delegates want and we ought to deliver on them?
Well, they definitely do, and they sure should. And I think it was because a lot of the effort I made, not to be bragging or anything, but it's also other folks that they were not listening.
Right.
You know, and it was to their own detriment when they came up for a primary. And so, because that was a struggle we've had as grassroots for 30 years, 40 years since the Republican Party started. Our party would always come up with ideas and conservative agendas for the legislators to work on, and they wouldn't do it. They just ignore it over the years. But in the last decade, the last 12 years, that has not been the case.
Yeah.
They're a lot more focused on it. Maybe not as much as they should be with enough clarity, because we do get a lot of priorities done now, the last session in particular.
Right.
But we do get a lot of water down on it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that's to get something done better than nothing. But sometimes when you get a little bit done and it's real watered down, everybody forgets about it and they move on to the next one, right?
Right.
It's really good if you got it just like black and white.
That's right.
Boom, we're going to win.
That's right. So one of the things that you ran on, I saw lots of people at every level of government run on, and that's this idea of doging, right? But for you, Don, that was really your campaign in a nutshell. If I could summarize it in one quick statement, your campaign was about doging Texas. What kinds of waste, fraud, and abuse do you think you're going to find, and what kinds of things are you going to be doing in order to root them all out?
Well, Destin, look, why that was so important to me is doging, because I really was doging before anyone knew the word.
Yeah.
Remember I got rid of Dallas County schools?
I do. I can't believe you did.
I know.
To this day. I think there's a lot of Dallas County schools at state level.
Oh,
is that fair?
That's the point. That's the whole point. And, you know, like nobody, this is a episode when I was in the Texas Senate. Nobody told me to go look at this group. Nobody cared. Really, nobody cared. We didn't form a committee or a study group. It was just me looking at my property tax bill. I wondered what in the world those people do, and I went and asked them a bunch of questions, and they couldn't answer it.
Yeah.
They had an elected board, and they were spending way over $100 million, and they were stealing millions, and 6 of them I got put in prison and closed it down overnight. And 2,500 people didn't have a job, because they were all crooks. So the point is, and I like to point this out, what they spent in a year, the state of Texas spends in 9 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So
that adds some
perspective. I wasn't even looking for corruption. I was just looking to ask them a few questions. And so we got a lot of corruption in Texas.
Yeah.
There's no question, a ton of it. And we got a lot of fraud in Texas and no telling how much waste. We're spending over $500 million a day, 7 days a week, for almost $355,000 every minute, every day.
Right.
So, and all that goes through my office. I'm going to have
tell the listeners at home, I don't think most people know exactly what the Comptroller's office does. So maybe in 30 to 60 seconds, your job is to what? What will the Comptroller of Texas actually be responsible for?
Well, I collect all the money the state brings in, every tax, every fine, and I manage all the money. I tell the legislature how much they can spend, and I'm also the procurement officer, the purchasing officer for everything the state agencies buy.
Yeah.
And there's over 200 state agencies, and it's so much more than that. I have 600 auditors. I have 23 attorneys in-house. I have my own law enforcement division.
Yeah.
It's a massive undertaking. It really is. And my job is right now, why I'm running, is to change the culture, that the money belongs to the taxpayer. This is our money, not the government's.
Right. Wow. Don, maybe kind of a parting word for delegates here in Houston and for all the listeners at home, something that maybe you could encourage them with, or a call to action you have. Why don't you tell folks at home what's going on in your world?
Well, I just want to encourage everybody to get out and vote on November 3rd. We cannot underestimate the leftists, the socialists, atheists. I mean, they are motivated, they are desperate, and they know when they take Texas, they take the whole world. We'll never have, of course, a president, a Republican president, or if we lose Texas. I need everybody to be fully motivated to get out there and do whatever you need to do to get people to the polls and vote Republican all the way down ballot.
This is Don Huffines. He's our Republican nominee for Comptroller of the state of Texas. He's a good old friend. We're all really excited about him DOGing Texas. You know, at Texas taxpayers, we are all about rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse. I can't think of anybody better to do that than Don Huffines. This is the 2026 RPT Convention from Houston. We'll have more coverage of this and so much more coming right up, so stay tuned. Thanks so much.